to sports and talk.
We'll give you all you need to make the best of your day.
On the Break of Dawn, 32 FM 94.9.
Thank God it's a beautiful Friday morning. Studio time check, 2 minutes past 6 from our studio here. You're on to 32 FM 94.9 Fayette Station, the station that is filling the world with laughter. My name is OLUTAYO OGUNADE, and I welcome you to your morning tonic, the Break of Dawn newspaper review. GBEMISOLA, SOYEMI is right here.
Good morning to you, and good morning to everybody listening this Friday morning. We're here to take headlines from the dailies and to analyze the major stories in the dailies as well. We'll be joined later on by the analyst in the studio, and of course, you can join us live on YouTube, 32FM 949 Ibadan, 32FM 949 Ibadan. I have with me this morning the Punch newspaper, Vanguard, and Daily Post, and I'll take headlines from Punch newspaper first. Buhari leaves for UK checkup as doctors threaten fresh strike. Super TV CEO suspects father arrested. Lecturers, classmates shocked. Unilag silent. Afenifere Ohaneze Pandef insists on restructuring ahead talks with ACF. Also, Akpochi eyes 12th knockout win against Gulantan. That's from the sports side. More headlines from Punch newspaper. I started robbing at age 7. 27-year-old suspect. Rescuers from 16-year darkness, bad roads, Ogun community begs Abiodun. 2 men impersonate Ekiti judge, collect money to influence judgment. We are investing $1 billion on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and 2 others. That's from the federal government. Reps invite Amechi over NPA's unaccounted 166.9 billion naira. Nigeria can earn 600 billion naira from tobacco and alcohol tax hike. That's from the World Bank. Court voids Anambra PDP Congress, nullifies delegates list. Bauchi governor issues deadline as group pressures him on 2023 presidency. And we are interested in peace, unity, not Nigeria's breakup. That's from the ACF. Those are headlines from Punch newspaper.
From Daily Trust, Kano School dares CBN asks parents to pay fees with cryptocurrency. Unilag lecturer, what I know about our student who murdered Super TV CEO. Buhari allocates houses to Peter Rufai Sunday Olise. Other 94 Super Eagles squad. Unilag students killed Super TV CEO while trying to force sex on me. Buhari traveling to London for another medical checkup. Still from Daily Trust, Lawan to federal government. National Assembly won't approve frivolous loan requests. Insecurity, federal government scouts for ex-servicemen. Alright, new infrastructure to crash 1 gigabyte data price to 390 naira. That's according to the Vice President. Saudi Arabia bans South Africans from attending 2021 Hajj pilgrimage.
All right, Daily Post newspaper, Kebbi school abduction, danger signal to security in Northwest. That's from Governor El Rufai. Amechi Oda face query over NPA's 166.6 billion naira unremitted funds. Number of Nigerian students overseas surge by 93%. That's according to statistics. Reno Omokri warns as Buhari embarks on another medical trip to London. Uyo High School shuts down as students give principal 24 hours ultimatum to release detained cultists. Governor Ugwanye delivers solar-powered water boreholes in court and rural markets. Unweze, Governor Umahi, Governor Umahi denies rumor of late commissioner's resurrection. Buhari travels to London for medical checkup Friday, which is today. Also, Buhari makes new appointments into Federal Housing Authority. Engineering body honors NCC for contribution to economic development, all right. Ogun Assembly probes 22 billion naira special projects from 2015 to 2019. Be sincere, committed to end herders conflict in Nigeria. Fulani herdsmen tell federal government. Kano Chief Judge approves appointment of 34 Sharia court judges. IPOB versus bandits. Your terrorists' main sponsor in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu attacks Gumi. And Enugu shooting. Conduct open trial of killer cops. Ohaneze tells police. And finally from here, Twitter ban. Federal government put cart before horse. Falano.
And from Premium Times, Nigeria high unemployment figure, indefensible minister, local government polls, PDP to contest in only 6 of Jigawa's 27 local government areas. Chairman, NDLEA seizes largest quantity of cocaine in the history of Ekiti. INEC launches online portal ahead voter registration. Unilag student speaks on fatal stabbing of Super TV boss. Special works have paid nearly 25 billion naira to over 400,000 Nigerians. Keyamo, why Heritage Bank staff protested at Andy Uba's house over loan. Woman regains freedom after spending 10 years in prison without trial. Still from Premium Times, court grants Babai Jesha bail. How we are prevailing on Kaduna government to fulfill agreement with NLC, prevent strike. George speaks about checkered history of Farouk Lawan's 8-year trial. Abductions. NSCDC deploys female operatives to protect schools. One more before we go to another paper. Again, Buhari jets to London for medical reasons.
From Vanguard newspaper, rail transport generates 5.79 billion naira from 2019. NBS. Also from Vanguard, court sentences 29-year-old cobbler to life imprisonment for raping minor. Why I stabbed Super TV CEO Ataga to death. Unilag student. Also from Vanguard newspaper this morning, federal government stakeholders initiate action to curb fake contraband pesticide. 2 million Nigerians receive COVID-19 jabs. CBN asks farmers to pay back ABP loans. Also, Iwo APC chieftains back Oyetola's re-election bid. Rail, okay, I took that earlier. Federal government states owe 33.11 trillion naira in external domestic debt in the first quarter of the year. NBS. Customs cautions public against activities of fraudsters on social media. PDP devolves e-registration committee into subcommittees. We are proud of Ajimobi even in death or your APC. And don't kill for politicians. Rep member wants supporters. One more headline from here. Insecurity and 2023 presidential election. A leadership dilemma. That's an opinion report from the Vanguard newspaper.
From the Guardian newspaper, Nigeria poor option is borrow, says Lawan. 24 billion naira paid to special public works beneficiaries, says federal government. 476 online platforms devoted to bring down APC, says Lai Mohammed. Court rejects EFCC's evidence against Lawal in alleged 554 million naira fraud case. IPOB Igbo youth slammed Gumi for defending bandits, tag him terrorist. Reps summons Amechi over others over alleged non-remittance of 166 billion naira. Lagos Abuja airport orders to be concessioned by August. We go on a short break. We will be back.
FM.
94.9.
Every day is another chance to do it all over again.
Get the best of starts on the break of dawn. 32 FM 94.9.
ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà mẹ́jọ jẹ́ ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́rin náírà ẹgbẹ̀rún márùn-ún náírà lọ́nà mẹ́jọ jẹ́ yẹ́rọ. jọ ibo ló ti rówó. owó kẹ̀ èní orí owó ìpè tí Airtel máa ń fún mi tí n bá ti ra síìmù tuntun mà ní o. wo wọ́n tó ń fún mi ní ìlọ́po mẹ́jọ dátà fún wíwà lórí àtẹ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn àti ìfà ìlọ́po mẹ́jọ owó ìpè nígbàkigbà tí n bá ti ra owó ìpè. ṣé bó o mọ̀ pé o ti lè ra síìmù tuntun báyìí ní èyíkéyìí ilé ìtajà aṣojú tí Airtel fọwọ́ sí. ìwọ ṣá ti lọ pẹ̀lú nọ́mbà ìdánimọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà NIN rẹ kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
láti gòkè àgùnlà láyé èèyàn nílò ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹni tó mọ̀nà débi àṣeyọrí. FMH International HR àwọn ni gbajúgbajà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alárinà tó mọ ojúlẹ̀jà bá ti ń tọ́ni sọ́nà finimọ̀nà nípa bí gbogbo òǹwáṣẹ́ ṣe lè pàdé àwọn òǹgbanisíṣẹ́ pàápàá jùlọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó wà lókè òkun.
FMH International HR alábàáṣepọ̀ gidi ni wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àjọ oníwádìí ìjìnlẹ̀ àgbáyé tá a mọ̀ sí United Nations Volunteer Research Group láti jùmọ̀ tọpinpin wàhálà táwọn ọmọlẹ̀ yìí ń kojú nídìí ìgbìyànjú ajé lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. ìyẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ mọ́ international migration àti international labour activities.
ǹjẹ́ o tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé o nílò ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ dáadáa nípa ìlànà à ń tẹ̀lé láwọn pápákọ̀ òfurufú tó fẹ́ gbà sọdá sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí United Nations Volunteer Research Group pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ FMH International HR ń ṣe research lórí ẹ̀dùn ọkàn àti ìpèníjà tẹ́ ẹ bá ní. questionnaires táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ FMH bá fún yín lágbègbè yín lẹ́ ó ṣàlàyé ìrírí yín sí.
fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ kàn sí wọn ní 3rd and 9th floor Cocoa House Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn.
telephone 0817 4444 627
àti 081 68 73 7222.
The lights are on and the stage is set for the next music sensation. Who will be the next Nigerian idol? Watch the live performances every Sunday at 7 p.m. and keep your favorite contestant only by voting. Vote via SMS by texting VOTE and your favorite contestant's number to 32053. Each SMS costs 30 naira. You can also vote for free on the website africamagic.tv/Nigerian Idol or get a woof votes by downloading the My DSTV or My GoTV app for more voting power. Keep your fave in the game. Voting starts on Sundays and ends Wednesdays. Nigerian Idol, sponsored by Techno Mobile and Biggie Drinks.
Titan Farms, Titan Rice, Nigeria. Homemade rice with good price. I don't want correct rice. Titan will not get stone at all. Titan rice, better rice. Titan, you go buy your own. Titan rice. Oh yes, Titan Rice is a non-mushy, non-sticky and no-stone Nigerian-made rice. Titan Rice is available for nationwide distribution. For inquiry, please call 0906 007 9714 or visit our website via www.titanfarms.org. You can also earn a fortune by investing with Titan Farms today and earn great returns on your investment. Incredible, isn't it? What are you waiting for? Visit our office today at Titan Farms House, opposite Motor Dealers Association Car Lot, Akala Express, off New Garage, Ibadan. Titan Rice, a product of Titan Farms. Better rice, I think you go buy your own. Titan Rice.
When you come into the Glow Cafe, you're in for a world of treats. Not only can you monitor all your voice and data usage with ease, buy, share, borrow, and gift data and airtime in the smoothest ways, pay for any services of your choice using your airtime or your bank card, and manage or change your tariff plan to any plan you prefer seamlessly. You can also add friends, get sweet rewards, and so much more. Oh, and don't forget, if you ever need to recharge outside the Glow Cafe app, just dial *805# to purchase airtime or data through your bank. So, step into your Glow Cafe today.
Or download the Glow Cafe app today. Glow Cafe, where it all goes down.
FM 94.9.
Thank God it's a beautiful Friday morning. Glad to know you're still there. It's 32 FM 94.9 Break of Dawn newspaper review. My name is OLUTAYO, OGUNADE. Ostenedumo just entered the studio. Good morning to you, Ostenedumo.
Good morning, Tayo.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is GBEMISOLA SOYEMI. Let's get to the papers. Where do we start from? The president's trip to London. Well, it's no longer news for medical reasons, of course. I think all the dailies have that particular report. So, any comments before we move on? Is this something to talk about?
Yes, it's something to talk about because we voted for Mr. President and he's going for that trip at Nigerian expense. He's going to spend a lot of Nigeria hard-earned money. Of course, if you look at the reason, at this time, the president at some point said he would discourage medical tourism. We have seen countries of the world, even within the Africa continent, that have saved billions of naira as a result of ban on medical tourism. But Nigeria, I think that is what we have appetite for. The president is going again. Some other paper look at it that the president is going for a medical follow-up. I just begin to wonder that after 6 years in office, the president cannot put a particular teaching hospital together to the level wherein the president could be attended to, especially on primary health cases, not health emergencies or what have you. We have the National Hospital in Abuja. I feel if the Asoro Clinic cannot take care of the president's immediate health need, the National Hospital should be able by now, after 6 years in office, take care of Mr. President of some health issue. It's not really good enough that we are going out of the country. In the 70s, we have leaders of the world coming to Nigeria for medical treatment, but the reverse is suddenly the case that we have today. There's another scenario too. If the president, why should the president continue to go to London every time? Can't the doctors at least?
Austin, Bimi said it earlier. Should we just move on? Because this is not going to be the last.
Of course, this is not going to be the last.
The last time Mr. President,
has always been,
traveled for medical reasons was in April.
Yes.
He said he's going to spend 2 weeks this time around.
Yes.
And we know that this is not going to be the last. So I think we should be used to it by now.
Of course, we are actually used to it. We are only looking at the possibility that the president could at least bring his daughters to Nigeria. That will save us of a lot of money. The presidential jet will not have to travel. A lot of people that will go with the president that will later collect extra code will not also collect them. It's quite unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation.
All right, away from that particular story, how $300 million NNPC fund was secretly lodged. The House of Representatives ad hoc committee on recovered loot and assets of government yesterday heard of how $300 million belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation was hidden in a Polaris bank account and remained unattended to for years.
Yes, that is the reason why we find ourselves in this financial mess. There are a lot of secret accounts by government officials, especially by agencies of government who are supposed to remit funds to the federation account. If you look at it, NNPC has been involved in under remittance before now, and this was one of the major problems that removed Kemi Adeosun from office, because she was insistent at that time that we can't continue to have agencies of government flagrantly disregarding the Fiscal Responsibility Act by not remitting unutilized fund into the federation account. So we are at it again as far as this issue is concerned. Of course, the House of Representatives in this regard is doing a very good job, and they have invited the appropriate stakeholder as far as the bank is concerned. Let us look at it. We can't continue to have a situation where slush fund will be lodged in a certain account, secret account for that matter, and at the end of the day, the country will not get value for whatever remittances that they should get. So for me, this is a good one. We want to follow this issue to a logical conclusion. We want to see the end of this story, because if you look at the National Assembly, especially the House of Rep, they have been carrying out too many investigative panel as far as finances of the countries are concerned. And at the end of the day, we don't get to look at it. Don't forget, at that time, 2 days ago, we discussed the issue of Farouk Lawan and Femi Otedola. Farouk Lawan has been jailed. Of course, that is victory for democracy. But what happened to the subsidy fraud level against Otedola's company? does it mean that suddenly that has disappeared into a thin air, or that has been swept under the carpet? So there have been a lot of mismanagement in the oil sector. If only we can account for our oil revenue alone, we will not be where we are. Don't also forget, oil revenue still contribute close to 90% of the entire revenue in the country, despite the fact that there's a shortfall even as we speak now. Of course, we want government to look at alternate source of revenue generation, non-oil sector revenue, but we must judiciously account for oil revenue in the country, because certain people, certain countries in the world, this is what they have, and this is what they have used to maintain their country and service their finances and make life better and meaningful for their citizens. So this is good. Let's follow it to the end and ensure that at the end of the day, like the likes of Atuche, those that will be culpable the system must ensure that there is sanction, there is punishment to serve as deterrent for others.
Now, what happened to progress reports? The trend is the certain amount of money is allocated to maybe an agency or maybe an individual or a committee or what have you, and then whether or not there's progress, nobody gets to ask questions until maybe they get to the very end of it, or until years after, when nobody even remembers that this amount of money was allocated, and then we start probing.
Yes, I think the National Assembly through must strengthen the institution of legislation by ensuring proper oversight. Because if we do proper oversight, we'll be able to nip some of this in the bud. That is why we have seen agencies, parastatals coming out to talk about unremitted funds. From time to time, the Accountant General of the Federation should be engaged. Don't also forget, some of this investigation that the House of Rep is doing now emanated from the query, especially for 2016, that Accountant General of the Federation issued to some MDAs. So as a result of that, we are unraveling some of the finances that should have ordinarily accrued to the Federation account or remitted back to the Federation account. So this is where we find ourselves. Let the National Assembly also strengthen the business of oversight, because it is much more cost effective to strengthen and put measures in place for fraud not to be committed than chasing after criminal, because it's quite expensive to run after criminals in Nigeria. You know the judicial process. We saw a case day before yesterday that have been the process of litigation for over 9 years. That is what it can be. There are some situations that this individual, powerful individual, will have to fight back.
Some of these people have also learned to or devise means of boycotting or circumventing the process by TSA is meant to check things like this, but you find some people who are immersed in fraud, by bypassing TSA model or arrangement, to forestall fraud in government.
Yes, some of these funds that we talk about, some of them have been stashed in some of these financial institutions before the full implementation of the TSA. Right. There we talk about political will of the government to be able to do this. Of course, we must commend the Buhari administration for implementing the TSA, Treasury Single Account. But even as at now, there are still some area where full implementation is not taking place. That was the crisis the ASU at that time through the IPPIS had with the federal government, that if we are going to do a total implementation, there must not be segregation. You must not exempt or exclude some people. I think that is the major crisis that we are having here. So let the government take a step further by ensuring that every government revenue passes through the Treasury Single Account, and by that we'll be able to rake in all funds that are either to have been scattered as a result of illicit financial flow of funds by corrupt government officials. Because we talked about the bank now, let's also talk about government officials, because it takes two to tango.
All right, because if you hear of monies like this stashed away secretly and all that, you don't want to believe it when people say, or like in the words of Lawan now, that Nigeria is poor and so we have no other option than to borrow.
Of course, we are not that poor. We must put it on the table. What goes to the servicing of political office holder, political elected office holder, political appointee in the country? So I don't want to believe that we are poor. We have mineral resources. There are some countries who rely heavily on tourism and they are succeeding. They are prospering. That if you want to justify the need to borrow, it must be vis-a-vis capital infrastructure in the country, not just because we are poor. Because if you are poor in Nigeria today, nobody borrows you money. People borrows you money on individual level because you are credit worthy. Go to the bank and say you want to obtain loan. What do they ask for? They ask for your pay slip because you are working. You don't borrow a jobless fellow money. That's the truth of the matter.
We give money to those who don't need it in Nigeria.
So the argument of Lawan is not tenable as far as I'm concerned. We need to borrow to service critical infrastructure, and borrowing at what cost? We must borrow in such a way that we get value for money. What Nigerian and financial is that Nigerian government, out of the borrowed fund, will use part of the borrowed fund to even service the existing debt. You can't grow like that. That is what we are talking about. And as you are borrowing too, you must also show off your revenue base. But Nigeria today, we just borrow, and at the end of the day, most of the borrowing ends up in servicing consumption. That is why we say no.
You know what they call that, baby? It's Ficodico.
It can't work. That's the truth. We are not borrowing because we are poor. We are not really poor. Are we a poor country? Look at Senegal has been able to scrap a particular house in 2 houses of the National Assembly. They now operate in 1 house National Assembly. That is how to look at a country that is serious. But in Nigeria, we voted about 132 billion for this current National Assembly for 2021 budget, and somebody will come out and say we are poor.
Okay, so we are not poor.
We are not poor.
All right, moving on. There's a report here. Number of Nigerian students overseas surged by 93%. The number of Nigerian students in the U.S. has reportedly witnessed a drastic surge in recent times. A recent report by an educational platform indicated that the U.S. hosted a total of 13,762 students for the 2019-2020 academic year. The figures represent 93% of Nigerians on academic tourism in the United States.
Yes, the other time we talked about medical tourism. Now we are talking about education tourism or academic tourism. We'll continue to have that in as much as government has decided to bastardize education in Nigeria. I will tell you that those who do not have the means absolutely will be the one that will remain in Nigeria for their world's education at the end of the day. Because the truth of the matter is that education has been murdered in the country by successive administration, even including this government. Because this is a country where we enter into negotiation willingly, not under duress, with academic staff union, and at the end of the day we begin to shift goalposts. We have seen a situation where our tertiary institutions were shut for almost a year. Let's put the pandemic aside. So if I have the wherewithal, financial means, you think I will leave my children in the country? Somebody was telling me 2 days ago, okay, during the weekend when they wrote JAMB exam, I was saying, oh, there's a particular university in Ghana, a government university, it's very cheap. Why can't we just look at that option? Take our children there. Before now, I've seen a lot of students, Nigerian students, going to the university in Ghana. What are they doing that we cannot do in Nigeria? How many strikes have we had? We have had a cumulative strike of over 4 years within a decade. You understand? 4 years put together. The number of time our children were out of school.
Maybe you can bear with strike or strike actions. Can you bear, with bandits coming into schools to abduct our students and killing them and demanding for ransom?
Somebody 2 days ago, who is supposed to be an Islamic cleric, came out to say that shebi bandits or herdsmen just adopt school children for ransom. That is what they do. Sure. After all, they are not burning police station, trying to make it look as if it is good. That is insecurity on another hand. So it's very difficult and challenging to go to school in the country. So that report, in my view, can be conservative. That may not be the true reflection. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are leaving. And you can also diverge that from the rate at which Nigerians want to leave the shores of this country.
I was going to say, I really hope it's academic tourism and not a means of escape.
Of course, Tayo, so many people want to escape from this country. At times when you witness insecurity, life and direct, you will want to leave the country the next day. I know of somebody that was kidnapped, and the guy came out. He had to beg to travel out of the country almost immediately. He could not get the US visa, but he just said, I want to leave the country. So he had to first of all go to Dubai. I just want to leave Nigeria because I can't stand it again. You know the hell they go through in the hands of kidnapper. At times you are going on the street, you are waylaid, and your hard-earned money is taken off from you, your ATM card is gone, and before you know it, your account is emptied, and you want to remain in such a country, and we have a president that can't even stay to fix the problem. At every little headache, he had to go to London to see his daughters. How many Nigerians can afford to go to London to see their daughters?
The statistics also indicates that Nigerian students have contributed about $514 million to the United States economy.
See, that is what we are talking about. This is not capital flight as a result of foreign direct investment. This is a type of capital flight that is depleting the foreign trade in Nigeria as a result of self-inflicted pain, self-inflicted problem, orchestrated problem. What does it take to fix insecurity in the country, for example?
These are part of the things contributing to the weakening of the naira. Because if you can source for quality education here, I won't have to take my money.
You don't have to take my children out of the country.
You know, if I can afford medical care here, I don't have to go abroad for it. I can reserve my money. Do you get it? That way you strengthen your.
Do you know that CBN any moment from now could run into crisis? Because what the CBN policy says is that there must be forests in terms of foreign reserve to be able to accommodate 3 months back-to-back import bill of the country. Now the foreign reserve is being gradually depleted as a result of weekly intervention of the CBN. That was why the CBN had to come around again to abolish official rate for the naira and came out with the NIFES. That was the reason why. Because CBN saw ahead that in the weeks ahead, it may no longer be sustainable for CBN to have to defend the naira on a weekly basis. So this is the problem that we have. The president or the government has banned importation of some of the things we can produce in Nigeria. It's a welcome development. Why can't we also stop this academic or medical tourism that we talked about? Because anytime we have to seek external help in terms of going out of the country for education or for any service, it means that we are depleting and weakening our own currency and helping to defend and strengthen the economy and the currency of others. That is the area we need to work on. So the government has to be alive to its responsibilities.
All right. Sure, we'll come back to that story. A young girl murdered Super TV CEO. When we return from this commercial break, we'll look at that.
With Airtel Home Broadband device, your home is connected and you all can focus on the important things in life. Enjoy the finer things in life in the Airtel HBB seasonal offer. Visit any certified Airtel shop to get a 4G MiFi at 9,999 Naira plus up to 55 gigabyte bonus data, or router at 19,999 Naira plus up to 160 gigabyte bonus data. Offer valid while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún ọ pé tòjò tẹ̀rùn gbogbo àkókò ńlẹ̀ dá ádámà nílò náà yàtọ̀ sí náà dògán tá a fi ń sun bọ̀ọ̀lì lábà oko àgàgà iná sólà tó ń gbàgbára láti inú òrùn tó bá gbọ́ Novel sólà ní ó tẹ̀lé iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ti wà ní sẹpẹ́ fún pèsè àwọn èròjà sólà lẹ́lẹ́kàǹkà inverter solar panels and batteries solar kit láti tanná láti charge battery gbọ́ rédíò kọrin jẹ̀gbádùn àti láti tanná ẹlẹ́yin bíi 2 sí 3 solar fan tó ń gbé fan láti tanná sùn dẹ́kun ẹ̀fọn amáranini ṣokùnfà àìsàn ibà solar floodlight fàyíká ilégbèé àtòpópónà fún sẹ́ẹ̀mọ́lẹ̀ solar freezer láti ṣe nǹkan jíjẹ mímu lọ́jọ́sí fún mi síta fún oníbàárà solar CCTV camera ẹlẹ́yinjú àsáfà ààbò nílé iṣẹ́ àtọ́fíìsì solar water heater tí somi tútù di gbígbóná solar water pump tó lè fami gòkè ní kànga energy saving appliances DC bulb DCTV DC fan tó ń gbàgbára náà sára bẹ́ẹ̀ làkànṣe solar product wà fún dókítà lecturers farmers tailor àtàwọn ṣọ́ọ̀bù káríkárí Novesola kan náà ń lo kájú ẹ̀ kàn sí wọn bó rajà lólú iṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní Akíndélé plaza ìdójúkọ Adámọ̀sìngbà stadium Mọ́kọ́lá Ìbàdàn tàbí lẹ́ka ilé iṣẹ́ wọn tó bá súnmọ́
081-8776-6005.
Novesola ló mójútó solar.
Hey, why did you put it in the pot like that? You're supposed to break it first.
Says who? This is how I cook my pasta. Besides, it's golden penny pasta. It's non-sticky, so it doesn't matter.
But I want to cook it with meatballs mixed with pepper sauce and cheese.
Go ahead and enjoy your golden penny pasta just the way you want it. Golden penny pasta is made with durum wheat, which contains protein, and it's non-sticky, so you can cook, serve, and eat just the way you want it. With golden penny pasta, your way is best.
Some people have that special phone number. Sometimes it's the first number you ever had. Or that number that rhymes with your birthday.
or the number that your first girlfriend, Titi, gifted you? Now, imagine having that number taken away from you and giving to someone else, all because your line was inactive.
Oh no.
Oh my, such painful stuff. But guess what? With Glow Always On, that won't happen, because for just 500 naira, you stay connected to the Glow network even if your SIM is inactive. Now you can really rest easy and never worry about any of that, because Glow Always On will keep your phone number for you. Just dial *777# and select Always On to subscribe.
Welcome back from that break. 32 FM 94.9. We are still on with the Breakadon newspaper review. Don't forget you can drop your comments on YouTube, 32 FM 949 Ibadan. And back to the story that Tayo read the
you don't
headline
have to mention my name
before
there. It's in the papers.
It's
in the
course,
papers.
But you introduced the story. Unilag lecturer, what I know about our student who murdered Super TV CEO. Dr. Bumi Ajibade, a senior lecturer at Mass Communications Department of the University of Lagos, says he has made some investigations about Chidinma Ojukwu, a murder suspect. Ojukwu is currently being detained at the headquarters of the Lagos State Police Command in Ikeja over the murder of Usifo Ataga, the chief executive officer of Super TV. His lifeless body was found in a flat in Lekki Phase 1, Lagos, with multiple wounds on June 16, and a total of 5 million naira was said to have been withdrawn from his account after he was murdered. The suspect fled the scene after committing the crime.
She's just 21.
Yes, and was later arrested at Yaba area in her parents' house. This lecturer was hammering on effective parental responsibility. That though this lady was supposed to be a student of the University of Lagos, that in this particular academic session, the lady has not been cited in the school, that she was seen in the school last before the long lockdown that took place last year. That incident was quite unfortunate. The Super TV CEO was at the peak of everything about his life, at the peak of his career, a billionaire for that matter. Look at the way he ended, and also look at a 21-year-old girl who should be eyeing a promising future. If you look at her own accounts, she was smoking and was already high, taking drugs and heavy alcohol before such a dastardly incident happened. It's quite unfortunate that we have to talk about this at this particular point in time. Look at the man, the way it just ended. Like we said the other time, Tayo, it was just a few minutes of hangout, few minutes of enjoyment. So yes, few minutes of cruise. So let's beware. Let's be very careful. If you want to enjoy, you never can tell the enjoyment that will be the last one on earth. So please, let's be very careful. The way we hang out with unknown people, the way we hang out with people, according to the account of the lady, a lot of things transpire between them. But why should the option of stabbing the man to death comes to the heart of the lady? Why should that option come to the heart of the lady?
Such a pretty girl, a pretty demon.
Such a pretty girl, pretty demon.
I don't know. But someone said you are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequence of your choice.
Yes.
God have mercy.
And this is as a result of extramarital affair. The man should be married.
Oh, he's married.
He's married.
Yes.
With children too.
That is what we are talking about. So it's just a pity that the wife will just get the news that there's a lifeless body of somebody that bears the name of the husband, and the woman would begin to wonder, is this actually my husband or not? So please, let's be very careful. God will help us.
Amen. We should help ourselves too. Let's check out another story from the papers. I have this one from Daily Post that says be sincere, committed to end farmers' herders conflict in Nigeria. Fulani herdsmen tell federal government. Fulani herdsmen under the auspices of Kulen Allah Cattle Rearers Association of Nigeria, that's Kakran, said herders and farmers' perennial conflicts can be ended if the federal government and other relevant stakeholders are sincere and committed to the cause. The national president stated while reacting to recent move by the federal government to reclaim all encroached grazing reserves as well as blocked cattle routes across northern states. He said Kakran as an association is keenly following issues, particularly those that directly or indirectly affect their occupation, to offer advices on what needs to be done with a view to clash between the two inseparable brothers, according to them, that's the farmers and herders.
And I'll hit this here too from The Guardian. 476 online platforms devoted to bring down APC, says Lai Mohammed.
That is not true. You know, it's a case of if you have done evil before, anything that wants to look like black, you'll be afraid of such a thing. Lai Mohammed is not saying the truth. I've always said this. Power is transient. He can't be in that position forever. He has become a willing tool in the hand of this administration to destroy press freedom in the country, and posterity and history will forever remember them, those who have made effort to build the country and those who have also made effort to stifle free speech in the country. On the Kakran issue, the federal government must deploy sincere option. We have talked about the body language of the president himself. Reclaiming grazing routes is not the solution to the problem. The governors reserve the right under the law to legislate on the land acquisition and management in their respective domain. Let the government too also understand that. Look at the president's interview, for example. In all of this interview towards the June 12th celebration, he never made mention of herdsmen. He never made mention of elder farmers' crisis. What he was interested in is a region that is a dot in the cycle, is secessionists, those who want to leave the country, those who are agitating for marginalization.
Please come, Radio Moluluchi from Agbo.
All right.
Hey, good morning, Hospi. I'm so glad that your analysis is so superb this morning. May God continue to increase your wisdom. I tell you, I stumbled on the news yesterday, but please spare me that the House of Assembly is moving to stop rising, increasing prices of goods and commodity. They are passing the bill so that the masses will not feel, will be rescued from the hand of extortionists who are marketers. And I call on the House of Assembly also to move on the same line, because the masses are seriously suffering due to the skyrocketing price of the common food in the market. It's a very good step for the House of Assembly. Let the House of Assembly also follow suit. Have a nice day.
Thank you, comrade. 0705 500949 0809 700949.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. This is from you. No, I want to talk about this healthcare. I'll narrate my detailed experience with you. I went to a senior hospital. The equipment supplied between 2004 and 2007 are non-millennium compliant. I'm supposed to spend between 30 and 50,000 naira in that senior hospital. I'm telling you, as from today, I spent more than 3 million naira in an hospital in Lagos. Everybody in the health sector are guilty of what is happening in Nigeria. Myself and my family didn't go to any hospital than primary health center since I got married. But what is the primary health center throughout Nigeria today? It's zero. We should look inward. The politicians are not ready to help us. We, the professionals, we should also help ourselves. Because when you go to any hospital, they will refer you to their own private hospital, which is not good. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
And if the state of our health facilities are decrepit, what are we supposed to do? It is whose responsibility?
It is the government responsibility to fix it. How many people can jet out of the country? You say you spend 3 million naira on net care. How many people can even afford 3,000 naira or 4,000 naira for augmenting? So that is what we are talking about. The government should fix the health sector. A lot of people are getting. Do you know that as we speak now, doctors are threatening to go on strike?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir. This is Dr. Joseph from Ibadan.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to talk about that lady that killed Super TV. That is the reason why I don't believe in that. It's the youth that can rule this nation. Youth are even bad. I'm a youth as well, but we are so bad, heartless. So we are so corrupt in all aspects. I'm very sure if they make any youth the president of this country, he will empty this whole treasure of this country. Good morning.
Are we not going to the extreme, sir?
We also have old people that are bad.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, Tayo, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everybody in the studio. Good morning. And you see, this morning, I told someone yesterday, I'm tired of complaining. What is the solution to Nigerian problem? Tayo, I sat down yesterday and I think about this country. You remember late Victor Olaya? You remember there's one particular song, Ilule Osowolode. If Nigeria was so good that man will not complain in that song. What is the problem of this country? What is the solution to the problem? Look, Tayo, if care is not taken in 2023, we will still come back and call this radio station. Are we not the same set of people who are complaining Jonathan is not good? Oh, Obasanjo is bad. We keep on changing the leader. There is no solution to the problem. During the time of Shagari, people will complain too. So what is the solution? What is the problem? I think everybody should check himself. Thank you.
All right. Change begins with you.
Salawan.
Yes.
You heard that?
Yes. Complaint is not the solution. Those in government need to provide solution. And like Gbemi also said, change begins with us. Some of the things that we complain for during Obasanjo, I think the dynamics has changed now. Even during Jonathan, major thing that we complain about now is survivor, how to eat, how to sleep with our two eyes.
To get it, to be assured of, we need an assurance.
Safety.
I am safe.
I am safe. When you are alive, you are safe.
Sleep with our two eyes.
Yes. Somebody said at the end of 2023, we should be issued certificate of survivor. There is some guy in the land. They have always been complaining. Some of what we complain for during Shagari is not what we are complaining for today. That is the issue. The dynamics has changed.
Let's go on a commercial break. We'll be back.
ẹ ti dúró pẹ́ láti darapọ̀ mọ́ MTN àmọ́ báyìí ilẹ̀kùn ti wà ní ṣíṣí sílẹ̀ gbalasa láti darapọ̀ mọ́ MTN ẹbí yẹ̀lò tó débikíbi pẹ̀lú ètò dátà tó fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ jù ní Nàìjíríà ṣáà ti wọ èyíkéyìí nínú àwọn ibùsọ̀ MTN tá a yàn jákèjádò ra síìmù MTN tuntun kó o sì jẹun sókè pẹ̀lú owó ìpè àgbọ́játọ́ àti àfikún dátà ní ìgbàkúùgbà tó o bá ra dátà lórí ìpè yẹ̀lò torí náà yára ṣàṣà kó o lọ gba síìmù tiẹ̀ lónìí lọ sí mtnonline.com/sim láti mọ ìsọ̀ tó súnmọ́ ojú tó ń ta síìmù wa.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Egbògi kan ti délẹ̀ yìí egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
ojú rẹ̀ ṣàǹjọ̀lọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù ME1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneto cleanser jáde a wà ní nọ́mbà 17 ọba akínyẹlé off Adeogun Street Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa Veneto cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
Our oil sachet, 70 naira, only 70 naira. I said our oil sachet now, 70 naira.
healthy family.
So, madam, what symptoms are we talking about here? Does he talk too much over the phone?
Yes, doctor.
Does he browse too much also?
Yes, too much, doctor.
Oh, I see. And he never runs out of data, right?
Doctor, as a matter of fact, if my husband is not on a call, he's watching videos and laughing so loud.
Kai, madam, your husband has got the Glow Breaker Fever.
Yes! Catch the Glow Breaker Fever. When you register and activate the new Glow SIM, you get 600 Naira bonus instantly. Up to 100% bonus on every data plan, so you can browse, talk, and chat as long as you like. Both new and existing customers also enjoy 700% bonus on every recharge. Visit the nearest Glow World or retail outlets to register and activate your SIM.
Glow Unlimited.
Welcome back. 32 FM 94.9 Break of Dawn newspaper review. Destination time is 7. Still taking calls from you who goes to the phone line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Adishi Yamonola from UI. He said several online apps were designed to bring their government.
According to Lai
And
Mohammed.
they use social media to campaign. No social media they don't use. They even mentioned that they will not go to, that Jonathan did not build a city. Now look at what they are doing. They will go and collect loans from outside Nigeria to take care of someone's head. That's on that one. On the issue of these all these girls underage that are killing all these babies, I'm close to some campuses. I want to tell you, the 21 is even overage. 17, 18, 19. Go around campuses now. You see how they dress, you see how they smoke. Even grandfather of Igbo is what they are. These girls, you never wear anything, you don't wear bra. Why would people like that see? And parents are looking at them. And you see all these girls under 18, their parents are selling body. They go home, they are using iPhones. Because they are doing all these things. What are parents doing? You never see anything.
Everybody has a fault. I think that's what
the family is the smallest unit of any society.
Trying to say.
Austin, what is happening to us?
A lot of family.
How did we get here?
A lot of family has failed. That's the truth of the matter. I think God will have to heal our family because that is the major problem. If we get it right at family level, most likely we'll get it right in the society because these are individual. Look at what has happened in the family now because of lack of proper monitoring and what have you. Look at what this girl has done now. The father was also picked up yesterday. So the family will bear the consequence for the rest of their life.
Well, anybody can kill. I think
of course anybody can kill. It's not limited to ladies or what have you. The bottom line is that we must be very careful.
Sure of everybody.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Olufemi from Oyo.
Good to have you.
If President Buhari travels to UK because of medical checkup, when Nigerian doctors are threatening to go on strike, my question now is, what of if the UK government did not take care of their medical doctors? What of if the UK government did not provide the facility which will be used for him? And somebody is now said last time that what is the solution? I want to tell us is the leadership problem. Now look at it. Somebody now said, before the news to read, that somebody now laundered $300 million. You see me and you that does that, or the people at James of Afia, Okonjo-Iweala resigned. Power is now saying that Islam is under threat because of the people at the ends of Afia. You see me and you that is doing that. Now, and many other things, we know they know the solution, but they don't do it. But we are telling them God is waiting.
Thank you very much. 08097000949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
We can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, God bless you, Auntie. Fagbemi from Ibadan.
Thank you.
When somebody asks what is the solution, the solution is that the government should do the right thing. Should we continue? The people that in government now are the people that are supposed to correct the things and do the right thing. It's not as hard as this. Life is always unbearable for people now. The solution is the government of the day should do the right thing, not that because the rule is tele, so it should continue. No, they should do the right thing. And finally, on the Lai Mohammed and the federal government going against the media, I will not blame them. It is the media themselves, the journalists, that they are sleeping. They are not doing the right thing. Instead of them going against people who are calling or who are making effort to deliver them, they should be proactive. They should be reactive. They should be protecting. They should be rejecting some of the policies of the government, not that they should sit down and be afraid. They are too timid. That's the problem. They should be reactive. God bless us. Good morning.
God bless us. What's in the domo?
Tayo, what should we have done that we have not done? He said we have been sleeping, but we are in the studio. This
Talking.
Some of them call
and taking the calls.
Some of them call from their comfort zone. Some of them will even call from their bed. We are not sleeping. We try to say the truth, situate the position the way it is. I think it was Comrade that lauded Ekiti State House of Assembly for trying to bring bill together to reduce food prices. It goes beyond that. That's the truth of the matter. It has to do with security of farmers while on their farm to produce these various crop and food items, not just legislation on the floor of a House of Assembly. We suffice to say that we must ensure and guarantee security for our people. Fayose did the same thing. What Fayose did was even very funny. He had to go to the market to say, this is the price.
The natural thing is, farming.
Yes.
Did we plan for this?
See, we
experienced COVID.
God delivered us. God saved us from the COVID, perhaps to be able to take care of ourselves.
But did we learn the lesson?
We didn't learn any lesson. The government did not learn. That's the truth. Let's go back to the farm. You can't just stay on the floor of the National Assembly and make law that food price should crash and farmers cannot go to their farm to produce. That's the issue. Fayose did it in Ekiti and it was counterproductive. It didn't really work. He just went to the market and said, this Congo of Gari should be sold. You can't achieve that by fiat. Guarantee security and people massively will go to the farm and will enhance food production in the country.
Thank you very much, Austin Dumo.
Thank you.
And thank you to all listeners for tuning in this morning. We return tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. My name is GBEMISOLA. SOYEMI.
I am OLUTAYO OGUNADE. Good morning.
The station admired by other radio stations.